Alright guys, if you will look, we're going to start on lesson 416 today. You have now used your knowledge of growth factors in Figure 0 to create tile patterns and XY tables directly from rules. You have also looked at graphs to determine the equation or rule for the pattern. Today you will reverse that process and use an equation to create a graph without the intermediate step of creating that XY table. So I've got a bunch of different graphs here for 54. For each of the graphs below, write the rule, describe the pattern, how the pattern changes, and how many tiles are in Figure 0. So for graph A, let me move this up a little more. I can see that they are trying to show me that growth triangle right there. For the one next figure, it has grown 2 tiles. And remember, the growth factor becomes our coefficient in our rule. So that becomes 2x. And then I'm going to look at my graph again at the y-intercept to see Figure 0 started out at 2 tiles. I can tell that's Figure 0 because this would be 0 right here. So I need to add my constant, which represents Figure 0, with a plus 2. So this time the coefficient and the constant happen to match, y equals 2x plus 2, but they're 2 for 2 totally different reasons. If I move on and look at graph B, they have not drawn a growth triangle for me, but I can look here at the one next figure and its height right there. I'm going to add my own point onto the line. It's really there, they just didn't emphasize it. The one next figure, it has increased 2, so this one also has a growth of 2. So y equals 2x. And again, now I'm looking at that y-intercept right here. So I'm going to change that to plus 3 this time. Oh, sorry. All of that, I don't know if this is copy paste. Cut that, move it here. Well, that was awesome. Okay, let's move on to Rule C. I've got, let's do blue. Right here, they're showing me that growth triangle again. It is 8, so y equals 8x, and it is starting now. This is a very poorly made graph. We can't even see the scale. Has no title, but I can tell that they are indicating this is a height of 5. So I'm going to make this a plus 5. So let me come back and do this Figure 0 and describe for all of them. For this first one, I've got Figure 0 having 2 tiles. I got that from right here. And its growth, instead of describe, I'm going to say what it's growing. It grows 2 each time. Here I have 3 tiles and my growth is 2 again. Here I have 5 tiles in Figure 0 and my growth is 8. Let's try that again. Okay, so now I can continue looking at the next 3 graphs at the bottom here. I need a little more space for G, E, and F, so I'm just going to write the rules right above them instead of on those lines. I'm looking at that growth again. This time it happens to be decreasing. It goes down 2. So my coefficient's a negative number, negative 2x, and it started at 8, so plus 8. I really like this one. It makes you pay attention to the scale of the graph. I noticed that I have a 10 up here, so it must be going by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That makes it work. So when I draw my growth triangle here, it's not really going up 2. It's going up a total of 2, 4. Let me make sure this is just a unit of 1. They are going by 1s on the x-axis. So my growth is 4. My y-intercept right here is 8. Last one, I can see they're showing me that's a really long one, but it is labeled. My growth is -4. And my y-intercept is indicated to be 12, even though it's a very poorly made graph.